Welcome to a new video. Well, it's not really a new video. I'm actually starting to revisit some of the earlier videos that I put on this music channel way back. I launched it on the 1st of April in 2019, over 4 years ago. In those days though, I was a bit camera shy, so basically all you got was the audio with lots of pictures flitting across the video. Now I'm fully fledged in front of a camera. I hope you approve. And that first video back in the 1st of April 2019, April Fool's Day, I wonder if that's saying something about me. Anyway, it was Beggars Banquet by the Rolling Stones, an album that they released in December 1968. It's actually my personal favourite in their catalogue, although I didn't get to hear it until 1970. A school friend of mine, he was an absolute Stones fanatic, insisted that I listen. But it wasn't really until the mid-70s that I grew to appreciate the power, versatility and talent that these five men had presented to the musical world. The album's a tour de force of epic proportions. So I'm going to go through a few facts first before I get on to the tracks. So those facts. Glyn Johns had started to slide into the world of drugs and was arrested for cannabis possession, which delayed the completion of the album. The music also saw a return to their blues roots after the psychedelic experimentation and indulgence that we saw on their Satanic Majesty's Request. It was actually the last album in the lifetime of Glyn Johns, and the album reflects less involvement by him. Glyn Johns, the recording and production engineer on the record, admitted that Jones's contributions were often not on the track's final cut, as they were deemed not relevant to the track when recorded. As a result, Richards asserted much more influence on the record than Jones. He did add, Jones added, sitar to Street Fighting Man and a great slide guitar on No Expectation, plus harmonica on some tracks, but that was about it. There was also some disputes with the record company which occurred over the cover, which also delayed the release until December '68. The album was critically acclaimed and lyrically was viewed as having a left-wing edge politically, another reason why I love it so much. The Chicago Sun-Times described the feel of the album like the Stones unleashing the rawest, rudest, most arrogant, savage record yet in their career. Unanimous praise was lavished on Jagger's vocals, saying he offered a confidence and power that's remarkable. And I would concur with all of that. So let's get on to the tracks. There will of course be slides of the lyrics, and I'm actually going to include all the tracks with the lyric, but I won't be reading all of them. You can breathe a sense of relief. And of course there will be some personal details regarding the musicians. Side 1 then, track 1, and of course it opens with Sympathy for the Devil, with those congas and percussion at a frantic pace, accompanied by a wailing voice suggesting a satanic ritual. The macabre setting unfolds and then mixed vocals power in as Wyman's bass really drives the percussion. And then Richards with 2 guitar solos, as good as it gets, ripping into the heart of the listener. The lyrics are cutting and prophetic, and here's a brief extract. Now there will be a full lyric aside me, so you can read it at your leisure. Here goes then. Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm a man of wealth and taste. I've been around for a long year, stole many a man's soul and faith, and I was round when Jesus Christ had his moment of doubt and pain, made damn sure that Pilate washed his hands and sealed his fate. So powerful. And so anyway, have a read of those lyrics. absolutely outstanding. So having survived that first track, we're on to the second song now, No Expectations. Notable for Brian Jones' slide guitar, this slow acoustic blues tells us of fleeting love, wealth, and how things never stay the same. Nice piano by Nicky Hopkins, and Mick dominates with his intensity and genuineness. The lyrics, a sad tale of more than love lost, reminds me of many Englishmen being besotted by Thai feminine charm here, with drastic consequences. So on to track 3 then, Dear Doctor, with its jaunty country swing. It's an amusing tale of being terrified on your wedding day, and the change of mind leading to you fleeing the scene in panic. Again, Jagger's singing is outstanding, and you really sense the fear in his voice. Comical lyrics here, and here's part of the first verse. Oh, help me please, mama, I'm sickening. It's the day that the days of the plunge. Oh, the gal I'm going to marry is a bow-legged sow. I've been soaking up drink like a sponge. Don't you worry, get dressed, cried my mother, as she plied me with bourbon so sour. And you can read the rest of the lyric aside from me, as per usual. Really love these lyrics. Jagger, superb writer, very underrated. On to Parachute Woman then. This is a bit of a blues rocker with both Jagger and Jones excelling on harmonica. Terrific rhythm guitar by Richards. It's standard Stones, but it sounds great. Let's move on to track 5 now, Jigsaw Puzzle Blues. I love this song. Well, if you like rock and roll, this is it. The riff plus rhythmic piano promotes a dance-like feel, and then Watts skips the beat to perfection. Richards' lead wails behind the vocals to create that rousing electricity, and the frantic fade out reminds us that this is the greatest rock and roll band in the world. And here's a little taste of the lyric. I've sensed it's a little punk-like. Okay, there's a tramp sitting on my doorstep trying to waste his time. With his mentholated sandwich, he's a walking clothesline. And here comes the bishop's daughter. On the other side, she looks a trifle jealous. She's been an outcast all her life. Me, I'm waiting so patiently, lying on the floor. I'm just trying to do my jigsaw puzzle before it rains anymore. Love that lyric. Okay, slide for your perusal. So having managed to get through side 1, it's now time to breathe life into side 2. And it opens with Street Fighting Man. He lifts off. Jones is on sitar and tambora here. And you can hear him, but you must listen carefully. Also, one Dave Mason, Traffic's guitar player, plays shana. This is a type of oboe. I got that off Wikipedia, by the way. These instruments give the sound an Eastern mystical feel. And as for the song, it's angry, aggressive and revolutionary. Now we know why parents thought the Stones were a bad influence. The rhythm section is explosive, with Richards answering the call on rhythm guitar and Mick snarls out through the mic. It's simply breathtaking. And let's get an extract from the lyric. Okay, everywhere I hear the sound of marching, charging feet, boy, because summer's here and the time is right for fighting in the street, boy. But what can a poor boy do except to sing for a rock and roll band? Of course, many of you will be reminded that that lyric was borrowed later on by The Boss, the Bruce Springsteen, and I think it was on the second album, Wild the Innocent. Rosalita? Please correct me if I'm wrong. Well, next up is Prodigal Son, and it's the only cover on this album, written by bluesman Robert Wilkins. He was a country blues guitarist, cross Cherokee African American, who the Stones later credited the song to. There's a bit of a controversy about this song, but eventually they decided to give this old guy what he richly deserved. It's a marvellous acoustic blues stomp about poverty with gospel tones, and Jagger sounding like an old 60-year-old Negro. Not bad for a 25-year-old boy from Dartford. So to Stray Cat Blues then, the opening chord sequence and notes by Richard just tell you that this is going to be a screamer. It's a tale of a young girl, tempestuous with attitude, who's left for the city, a stray cat with no home. It's a poignant tale of youth gone astray and joining the harshness of survival in the city. There's some cool congas midway through, adding a touch of African feel to it. And it ends with a cacophony of noise. Keith's lead screeching us to the finish with some masterly production by one Glyn Johns. Penultimate track then, Factory Girl. It creates a very Irish feel, I think, with the fiddle played by one Rick Gretsch, who for a brief moment was in blind faith. And there's congas added to the acoustic rhythms. Mick turns it into a bit of a jig, but it stinks of honesty as we hear about those yearnings for any factory girl on a Friday night to have some fun. And it's just 2 minutes of rawness and freshness. Here's a little bit of the extract of the lyric. Waiting for a girl who's got curlers in her hair. Waiting for a girl, she has no money anywhere. We get buses everywhere. Waiting for a factory girl. Waiting for a girl and her knees are much too fat. Waiting for a girl who wears scarves instead of hats. Her zipper's broken down the back. And the rest you can read for yourself. I love the song actually. So to the finale then, Salt of the Earth. The Watt Street Choir added to this. It's a tour de force, a working class lament, a very powerful political song. Richard sings the first verse and then the choir come in on about 3 minutes and then we accelerate towards the finish. Impressive from Charlie Watts. High tempo piano as well. The rock and roll charge, and it's absolutely exhilarating. But the lyrics, well, here's a very brief glimpse at them, and up should pop that slide so you can follow it. Raise a glass to the hard-working people. Let's drink to the uncounted eggs. Let's think of the wavering millions who need leaders but get gamblers instead. Spare a thought for the stay-at-home voter. Their empty eyes gaze at strange booty shows and a parade. The grey-suited grafter's choice of cancer or polio. Well, not particularly a happy end, but very astute and right, hitting the nail on the head, I would suggest. So that concludes this awesome album. It captures the best of the Stones as far as I'm concerned. There's something for everyone. However, if you're looking for boppy pop songs which littered the singles catalogue throughout the 60s, you're definitely not going to find them on this menu. The songs, I feel, get better with repeated listens, and the album you're able to get lost in. So I suggest lyric lovers look at the slides. Really interested to get your take on them, of course. As a video creator, we really require comment, otherwise we're sort of working in a dark alley. Anyway, on the video now are the details of who was playing on this record. It should have shot up by now. And that's it. And I hope you enjoyed my review. So go and listen to it. You will not be disappointed. And if you are a fan I'm sure you'll spin it now to remind yourself of what a masterpiece Beggars Banquet is by the Rolling Stones.